We have been giving you Indiana's best political coverage all evening. Attorney General, that race, we move to that now. Todd Rokita claimed victory before that race was even called. Here is where that race stands at this hour. As you can see, Todd Rokita elected to his second term as the state attorney general, garnering at this point 59% of the vote to Destiny Wells' 41% of the vote. Let's go right to News 8's Cody Fisher, who has been following the race all night long. Cody.
Yeah, Todd Rokita took the stage in front of a cheering crowd here at the JW Marriott, as you said, before that race was even called, but that ended up not mattering considering he did win that race. And he started off his victory speech by saying he will focus on cracking down on illegal immigration before he highlighted some of his other policies.
Continue to defend Indiana's pro-life laws. And we will continue even to return unclaimed property to Hoosiers. We will do all this and more. We will never forget that we get our marching orders from the people of this state and not the other way around.
Speech by saying he will work to prevent anybody from under the age of 18 from getting transgender transition care, and he also said that he would try to prevent them from competing in sports against biological women. Now, he also did not take any questions from the press tonight, but we don't know exactly when he might do that. Reporting live at the JW Marriott, I'm Cody Fisher for Wish TV, wishtv.com. And remember, follow us on Facebook for updates.
All right, Cody, thank you for that tonight. Let's flip now to the Democratic side with News 8's Danielle Zolkowski as she follows the Destiny Wells campaign.
Dakari, Destiny Wells did take to the stage earlier this evening to concede in the Attorney General race against Todd Rokita, the incumbent Attorney General. Now you can see things are kind of wrapping up around here. Disappointing night for Democrats across the state. It's been kind of a muted night here in downtown Indianapolis, as most Democratic races had to be conceded. All of the statewide races were conceded to the Republicans. Destiny Wells did address supporters and celebrated with them in the progress that they made, saying they dug in these last couple of months, raised quite a bit of money in only a few months. They talked about how it was a short campaign and that change is incremental, that they have done a lot of work in this state. She did call Attorney General Todd Rokita to concede tonight and says that she looks forward to a peaceful transition of power across all offices as election results come in these next few days and hours. She says that we have to live in the joy of now, and she is looking forward to seeing change as it happens.
We have started to swing back to the left. These things do not happen overnight. And it takes all of us and our sacrifice to wake up our neighbors and to let them see what is on the line, right? So while we hope for the best, and I've told everybody, as long as I can wake up on Wednesday and my future commander-in-chief is Kamala Harris, everything else is just a plus on top of that. So let's continue to get to work.
Wells says Hoosiers need to continue to get to work, as you just heard her say, no matter what the outcome of any election is, both in this state and in this country. She wants to see Hoosiers supporting each other and has preached unity throughout this process. I'm Danielle Zolkowski for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook for updates.
All right, Danielle, thank you very much. Let's bring back in Mario and Dana. Let's talk specifically about the Attorney General's race right now. Was that one that you were surprised about, Dana?
So I wasn't surprised about any of the outcomes. Okay. Disappointed is the word that I would say, because again, I know that he says that the Hoosiers are not going with the extremism, that they're not buying the truth. But Todd Rokita has more complaints against him. He has complaints against him right now. He has a complaint filed from other Republicans for disclosing HR information about Destiny Wells when she was in the Attorney General's office. He spends more time at the Mexico border versus the Kentucky border, where he should be working on things to improve Indiana. He didn't go after the Medicaid fraud of $700 million when FSSA is short $1 million, where families are being kicked off of rolls. So Todd Rokita hasn't done the job that he needs to do. And this isn't about rhetoric. These are actual filed complaints against him. And I don't understand how Hoosiers are willing to accept people who are not actually looking out for them.
Go ahead, Mario.
Listen, everyone knows I'm not a fan of Todd Rokita's. However, here's a problem as a political pundit. Listen, as a political pundit.
By the way, you guys are very friendly. Just to be clear. So
I'm a Republican. She's a Democrat. But we can get a.
But we're also humans.
We are.
We are all having our own human experience on this planet.
And we might disagree like 80% of the time, but we still can be nice to each other.
Absolutely.
Right? And here's the problem. As a political pundit consultant, Destiny Wells is great on paper. Okay, she has a military background. She's worked at the AG's office, but she just doesn't connect with people. And Dana and I might disagree, but I have a lot of friends that are Democrats that are pretty high up in the Democrat Party in Indiana, and she just does not connect well with people. She's like Melina Kennedy. Great, experienced person, but never was able to connect with people. And this is the problem. I see Destiny Wells tweeting all the time. But how does she do when she connects? Look at Jennifer McCormick. She did well, right? You'll see that her numbers against Braun are a lot closer than Todd Rokita, who might lose his law license in February.
They're voting for a guy that could lose his law license.
Yes, but that's because Destiny Wells cannot connect with Hoosiers.
So to that point, since we are talking about the voters, let's talk about voters in your backyard in Hamilton County, because earlier on today, we were looking at the numbers and things look like they were at least going a little bit more purple. Speak to that a little bit, Dana, and also maybe for the future of the Democratic Party here in the state of Indiana.
So we have a lot of work to do, and there is no getting around the amount of work that we have to do. We need to put together a 10-year plan on how we're going to do this grassroots work. When the population increases, then it becomes more purple, more blue, and that is what's happening in Hamilton County. We've seen the successes of Democrats in Hamilton County, and you can tell when we're doing well when Republicans spend money in Hamilton County. Last year, they spent a decent amount of money to make sure they held on to some municipal seats. Again, they spent money again this year. One, I don't think we had a strong enough District 5 candidate to run against Victoria Sparks. That was somewhat problematic because that would have helped if we had a stronger candidate there. But I believe that there's an opportunity. We just have to get more people out there talking about our policies, because when Hoosiers actually hear our policies and what we stand for, they tend to agree. But when we're stuck in this who is the latest boogeyman, like trans kids, then they go off into some other never land.
Do these numbers worry you, Mario? Why?
It's funny because at 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock, CNN was and Fox News was saying that Hamilton County was going blue. I was getting text messages from people. The problem that the voters don't understand is that Republicans, no matter how much I preach over the last 3 years, they do not vote early. They do not vote by absentee ballot. And so when the early results came in, everyone's saying, oh, Hamilton County's going blue. Well, as turnout came out, the election results, there's usually about 7 different reports that come out. Guess what? Braun then started taking the lead. Trump started taking the lead. And what I looked at was Danny Lopez's seat. Okay, Danny Lopez was running in an open seat against somebody who had run before, who took 3 months off work, knocked on 18,000 doors. 18,000 doors. He raised almost $500,000 spent in that district. And Danny Lopez will end up winning by about 8 percentage points in Carmel.
It was very close all night long. It was neck and neck.
But Phil, here's the problem. That's because you're looking at early voting.
Yeah.
By the time the numbers all come in, Republicans will have won by 7 to 8 to 10 points. I don't consider us a purple county when we're winning races by 8 points, 10 points. Victoria Sparks won by 14 points. Jim Banks won by a lot.
Right.
So if you're,
you know what? Can I agree with something real quick?
Go ahead, real quick.
I would say though, that's why it disturbs me that they call races so early with 11% of the vote. I agree with him.
Yeah.
They should not have called and said Hamilton County was blue until you had all the votes in. We should be calling states with only 11% of the vote in when you haven't turned in Marion County, you haven't gotten Lake County or
promise
Vandenberg.
we'll get back to you guys. You're here with us all night long. Thank you very much.
Agree on that.
All right, there you go.